right, guys. Hey, welcome to Life Around 40 podcast. We're all here. Graham was feeling a little under the weather, so he had to go to this little, sleep study. So he's doing good. He's here with us. He's just not going to say much.
Yeah, he's just a little
Um,
out of it.
yeah, I mean, honest to God, it's the best he's ever looked, I think, and quite possibly the best he's ever sounded. I muted him a little while ago. Snores like a banshee. That one.
Oh, yeah, it's something. I've always
Yeah.
told I was a pretty loud snorer, but
And before you
it's
think we're
frightful.
jerks, we don't live near Graham. His wife set this up for us, so
I mean, I live about an hour away from him.
that'd be
But
worth the
what's an
trip.
hour?
Wouldn't that be worth the trip? But really, Graham's just away for the day, and Taylor and I still wanted to do something, and we just have a little AI Graham running down there just so he's with us in spirit. He's fine. The
Yeah.
heart's still ticking. All's good.
Let's hope that joke does not backfire on us there.
I
He's
know
good. He's good.
that would be my luck. Um,
Uh,
I've made two references to, and I know I'm insensitive, okay, but most 40-year-olds I don't think are very sensitive. I have made two references to someone being retarded or a retard, and in fact, both times they were. And I felt bad about it both times. But,
oh.
you know, that's why you just shut up, you know?
Right, yeah, you just gotta go, okay, we're gonna. Well, it's that or, it, not quite the same, but I think, hand in hand with it. There was a boss that I worked with that she, so this was for Target, because I briefly worked for Target for a little bit, and
Mm.
she was just, um, she just not had very nice things to say about a couple of customers that would regularly come in that just drove her up the wall. And I heard this, and then at the end of the day, I was like, "Look, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that out on the floor. You can't be doing that around any of the employees, myself included.
Yep.
Because it was just the manager, and then the team leads, and then the other employees. It's like, if you have that kind of problem, that's what you call your other store managers to talk about, your little cabal of them, and have
Mm.
goofy, funny stories to tell them, or yeah, you save it for home. Tell your dog, like like you can't be doing like you cannot be doing that here. And she was just
Scruffy,
kind of
come
like,
here.
yeah, right, right. I've got a story to tell you. It's like, you cannot do that sort of thing. Well, mind you, like I said, a little different, but in the same hand, there's the little, in German there's a word for it, but I don't remember, but it's like the thoughts in your back of your head is the English
No.
translation for it. Those gremlins, you need to kind of keep them quiet. There's times where you want to be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no.
So I too once worked in retail, and although my story doesn't have your particular tone to it,
Mm.
I primarily worked the shoes. Okay, I,
The
I, I was
shoes.
Al Bundy as a young man, and
Hoagie.
the I want you to know, okay, when you go into a place, you're like, hey, do you recommend a good shoe for running? These people have no clue. Okay, there is
Mm.
no training. You're like, well, if you order a running shoe, maybe get a cross trainer. You want a walking shoe? Find something that looks like it's for 90-year-old people. Great walking shoes, right? Um, so I'm in there one day, and this grandma ish, I don't know who she was, it looked like grandma ish age, and a man, he was a big kid.
Mm.
Not necessarily saying fat, but just a big,
Mm.
stocky kid.
Yeah.
So put him around maybe early teenage years.
Okay.
He stunk to high heaven,
Mm.
just awfully. She's like, "Hey, I need you to try this shoe on his foot." I was like, "All right, well, here you go. Here's the box of shoes." She's like, "No, you need to put it on his feet." I'm like, "No, like we don't do that here." And like, I'm being as respectful as I can because we really don't do that at
Mm.
Kohl's. Okay, at least we didn't back in the day. Um, and she's screaming mad at me. And she's like, "I want your manager." Like, absolutely. And so I call my manager, Michelle, and I'm sitting there in my head like, okay, she's gonna come up. She tells him to put the shoe on his foot. It's like, hey, you have a great day. I quit because I didn't need the job. That was like my extra money, which really, with my 1993 Ford Explorer, just filled in the gas tank so I could drive down there because that thing got 12 miles at a
Yeah,
gallon at best.
it's
you
you,
know?
you just do it to be social. That's the
Yeah.
only reason you have
So
just social.
she comes up and she's a nicely dressed, lady, middle aged, life around 40. She walks up and the first thing she does is one of these. Like she has the whiff that I'm picking up. And the lady's like,
She's downwind.
oh
She's
yeah.
downwind.
And that grandma starts, your employee here won't put that shoe on my boy's foot. She's like, yeah, we don't do that here. Because this shit wasn't happening. Okay, it's not because of the smell. It's just because I didn't sign up for that at Kohl's. You don't pay me enough to put shoes on anybody's feet, clean, dirty, nothing.
Mm.
It ain't happening. I'm not a foot guy. Don't ask my wife that, but I'm not a foot guy. Okay, it's the only reason I ain't
Oh.
wrong about it is because she tells me no.
Ah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the forbidden feet.
Yeah. Not like I want to get nasty or nothing. Just she says no, so obviously I have the mindset that
Hmm.
means I should be able to.
Good God.
Yeah. But yeah, there's another Cole story, but that is not for any
Not.
podcast. That is a non-recorded conversation you and I could have.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Um,
I get it.
no, it's just mentally, it was a very hard, thing.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh
oh.
boy.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's so. Did you, as a Target employee, did
Mhm.
you call it Target?
I mean, I think some people did. I probably said it before, but it wasn't any sort of
Sure.
or with any regularity. That was like not super long ago, but it was just something I was kind of doing. I do that. I have the odd jobs. It was do that while doing other things. Partly what we'll be talking a little bit about and stuff,
I
but
love it.
also enough to pay bills slash. Uh, I need to be a little bit more social, so
Oh yeah.
let's force me to be a little social. Otherwise, I'll just kind of completely not shut
I tell
down,
you
but
what,
I'll just kind of go cocoon mode.
you could work the shoe department at Kohl's on the weekend.
I
Little
could.
moonlighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad. No. It's just no. Well, for one, I don't even know where Coles is at. There's probably one, what Taylor Station or something. I think it
No
might be the
idea.
closest one. But no, no, especially with work because work lately has been kind of bouncing between me having a day off in the middle of the week and then working on Saturdays and then not. So it's kind of like, um, sure, extra little bit of money or something, be social, but in the same hand, I'm kind of reaching that point where it's like I get enough social interaction as it is, or I just got so much other stuff on my plate. It's like I can't really. It's a little tough.
Yeah.
So
So, how's the rest of your week been? Any fun happenings?
mm, I'm feeling better. Like it's nice, knock on wood.
Oh
I think did I send you the picture with the what happened to my car?
no,
Oh, the control arm rusted to shit, and I
the control
I
arm is on the little tire thingy.
That's what connects with the tire and
Yeah, the steering wheel, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. It helps the well. So I
I'm
went
not a
out.
mechanic. Not a
Well,
mechanic.
nor
Okay.
am I. But like, I was talking like I went out to my car after work Wednesday last week, and I oh, you know what a negative camber is? I think that's how you say it, or
Yes. It's
camber.
on your
Okay, so
tire, right?
correct. Yeah, yeah. So it had a really strong it was a strong negative on the in the rear driver's side. And I was like, "Oh, that ain't good." That ain't good at all. So I took it into the shop the following morning because I was off on Thursday, and it was bad. It's like it was rusted out, and the welding had broken at the welding, so it was a and the guy was like, "How did you get this here?" I was like, "Very carefully," because it was bad. And so, yeah, I had to drop about 900 on that. So that was fun. Uh, yeah. So, but we got that and the wheel bearing changed on it. So,
Yeah.
mm, at least I feel a bit better about that. But yeah, that's fixed up. I'm feeling a little bit better. Other than that, like I worked Saturday, so I only had Sunday
Awful.
off. Well, like I said, so like I had Thursday off, but then it was spent mostly dealing with getting the car there and then kind of do. I will say this: there were two good things that came out of that. One, nobody was hurt, which
Beautiful.
was great. And the other thing was is that when I would tell either roommate or just coworkers, like I was genuinely happy, I guess, or it was nice to see how many of them were quick to offer to like get me to and from work, um, in the meantime and stuff. So I, to that, I appreciated that, and that was just nice
Yeah.
and stuff. So, uh, and I don't know. It's not to say that wouldn't like not expecting anybody to do that for me or anything, but it's just nice that
It
people are
is.
like,
No, it's
"Hey, do you
always
need?"
nice to know you're appreciated sometimes, you know?
Well, that, but like my mom kind of got on my case because I was talking to her on Saturday about what had happened, and she was like, "See, this is why I wanted you to, learn about getting like stuff with like mechanic work and whatnot." And I was like, "Mom, I can change my tires and change my oil if I need to. Like that's, I could probably get headlights or something if I really need to do something like that. More importantly, personal life philosophy is that the things that I know that I can do, I'm going to be able to do. However, I'm only one person. I only have so much life to live. There's only, other people have invested their time, their life, their energy to to strengthen their prowess and be good at whatever it is that they want to do. I will entrust the people that I've gotten to know through life to do those sorts of things. So,
Yeah.
and it's because the mechanic is somebody who I worked with like 20 years ago.
You
So
bet.
it's like somebody I've known for for years and stuff. And that place also, not that it's where I worked, but that place helped take care of my mom on different things when I wasn't around
Hmm,
or something for years. So it's
that's
like a
nice.
place that I can trust and stuff. So it's like, yeah. So, but yeah, anyways, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll trust them and I'll leave it to them. And
You
baton
know,
pass, leave it.
no great feeling driving 70 down the highway wondering if your mechanic work was worth the shit, you know?
Uh, Where was that at? 23, heading through
Lovely road.
Marion to get
Okay.
to I-75 to go up to Bowling Green. Um, the car I was driving, I think it was my dad's, one of his, but it had a really bad shake going on to it, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. Whatever's the problem, we'll just get it there and then get it back. Well, didn't even get it there because I was passing by Marion and the front, yeah, I think it was the front driver tire, the lug nuts and everything just completely sheared off and the
Sheared
tire
right
came
off.
off.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so, I
Oh.
guided it off of the road and everything, got it into the shoulder. And this was like right after I passed like a string of 6 or 7 cars. So I was like, okay, all right, and as I'm doing that, everything kind of slows down. I don't know if when you get into like a dangerous situation that this happens to you, but everything just slows down,
It,
but you
that
just kind of,
absolutely.
you're just
That's
normal.
how
You're like,
you
okay.
that's how you know you're awesome, by the way, because it's the endorphins that kick in, and it
Mm,
means you don't have that right there's a fight or flight mentality. It means you got to
Yeah.
fight, baby.
I got the fight. I
You're
got
the
that fight in me.
dog in that fight.
Got
You know,
that
you're like,
dog.
I
Yeah.
must save lives. And you just got it.
Yeah.
You
Oh
got
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was just because I was just like, okay, I'm riding on 3. We're just gonna get it over. I've passed the other car, and then I'm watching as I'm like fighting to get it over. I'm watching the tire. I'm like, please God, nobody hit that thing, as it's because it went over and it like crossed over into the oncoming side and everything, and thankfully it never hit anybody. And so
Well, just
I called my mom I think first, and I was like, Mom, good news, bad news. You know, good news is I'm all right. She's like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" And I was like, "Car lost a tire." Then I called my dad, and he was like, "Oh, okay, all right. I'll be there. 20 minutes or something. Hopefully, a cop won't give you a ticket." I was like, "They better not give me a ticket. I got this thing on 3 wheels off safely." Well, yeah,
I see that's called controlling your vehicle.
yeah,
Stuff happens.
yeah, exactly.
So,
So, but
to your,
yeah,
hmm go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, I think because the tire issue was because oh, it had been the lug nuts were on too tightly or something, and then because of the rattle, it had sheared them off just completely
Oh,
clean.
that'll
So
look.
yeah, it was something to do with that, and I don't remember because I think my stepmom had taken it to fire or Bridgestone or some nonsense. Yeah,
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 you can't tighten everything with the damn impact, people. Um,
yeah. Right.
so to your story of people offering you a ride,
Mhm.
my wife had a coworker who car needed work done. She didn't have a lot of money, so she
Mm.
asked if anybody could give a ride. And we're like, hey, you could just borrow our car. It's no Cadillac. It's a 2011 Honda Pilot. Inside's nice, but the Houston sun is not too kind on a nice clear coat finish. Okay. Um, so
Oh
that's why I
no.
want to paint it, which I got the paint coat. I got the paint in my cart. Just I'm waiting for a couple paychecks because of what we put out on the roof, the siding, the hot water heater, the normal daily driving car, and God knows everything else.
Right.
Um, that $50 can of paint could wait a little bit. um,
I get
but
it.
so we let her borrow the car. She's all and I made sure I went and filled up that tank, right? Just so she didn't have to worry about it while she needed it. But I kind of assumed I'd get it back with gas.
Oh
Not
no.
with like 15 miles till empty and the freaking fuel light on. And I'm like, it's like, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna assume that this is the
It's
help
tight.
she needed, and
Yep.
she will never borrow my car again. So I did a good deed, and I just won't do it again
Well, how much
because
is gas in your area?
it's well, I don't know because I drive an EV.
Oh,
So
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Megan, how much is gas a gallon?
I got it for 2.99 or 2.59 yesterday with 40 cents off.
2.99.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yeah.
So
It jumped up over
remember
the way. It's 3.49 here. So
we're coastal, so
right. Right. No, I
we
get you.
get that cheaper gas. But
Yeah.
according to what I hear, it's gonna go back down here soon, unless the Iranians keep putting mines in in the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We
Yeah.
just need that
Yeah.
one to be over here soon. God help all the innocent people. That's all I gotta say.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah. So yeah, gas. I don't do it very often, but I will go sit my sorry ass at a charging station for an hour at a time.
That just sounds miserable.
So I'll say this: like in a work day, I take a lot of phone calls. I'm on the
Oh.
computer a lot, so
Yeah.
it really kind of gives me a time to sit down because you're right. There's no one around me. Yes, I could turn on a hotspot and remote in. It gives me that time where I could sit and kind of do
Hmm.
my supervisory stuff that always gets put on the back burner because of this person, that person, this person,
Yeah.
this group of people. So that is a good time for me to just approve some timesheets, approve some expenses, do my own expense reports,
Yeah.
do some of the simple stuff that I always kind of rush into the last day, the week.
Hmm.
So
No, that's fair.
it's
That's
good.
fair. I'm more thinking on a on my side of things, just kind of getting stuck somewhere for an hour just seems dreadful. But there's times where I'm delivering stuff where I'm there for like 45 minutes or so because I just have so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, all right.
So yeah, I was trying to charge it today, but like the charger was getting like 40 kilowatt hours, so it was going to be like a 3+ hour charge.
Oof.
So I stopped after a few minutes because I had my daughter with me. I stopped it and I went to the high speed one. I was like, oh yeah, man, we're like up to 140, just cranking through. And then 4 cars pulled in and sucked up all the damn juice. And I was like, I'm going home. I have enough to get to the job site tomorrow. And what's right by the job site? Buc-ee's, y'all. And they got great Tesla chargers. And I'm going to go in there for lunch. I'm going to get some Buc-ee's tacos or a Buc-ee's burrito. And I'm going to have a great time. Yeah.
Oh goodness. I'd say with the EV, because it's still running off of gas to some degree for the combustion at all, or is it all electronic at this point?
All electric.
Okay, I know my neighbor. I think he moved or they moved shortly after graduating or before
Mm-hmm.
graduating high school. The neighbor in high school, he had a like a hybrid. So
Yeah.
it's very
Love 'em.
interesting to see how
Great car.
the kinetic energy was being used to store up to help with gas and stuff. So I didn't know exactly if they needed any sort of gas at all for.
No, not mine. It's all charged. I will say, I had a Prius for work. It was a
Okay.
work car. Now,
Yeah.
I had the choice of like a Ford Fusion, a nice hybrid, um, much nicer car, but it was because I get to drive it for like 20% personal use.
Mhm.
I do have to pay a certain amount, and that was like $225 for the Fusion or $90 for the Prius. And this is a month. Like, wait a minute. So I got a
Okay.
car I can drive, and it's only $90 a month out of my paycheck. I was like, done. I'm a Prius fan. Everybody's making fun of me. Oh, look at Drew in the Prius. I'm like, you know what, guys? Don't care. It's actually, so when you get in one, it's spacious. You
Is
got
it okay?
ample headroom. You got, I'm a wide dude. I got body room. I'm like,
Right.
man, this is nice. Did it look cool? No. Did everybody
Well,
make fun of me?
who cares?
Yes. I think even my wife made fun of me. Right? But I didn't care. It was a
Yeah.
Prius. It was a great car. If you drove like an old woman, no offense to old ladies, if you drove like an old person, I don't discriminate. If you drove like an old person, I'd get 75 miles to the gallon.
Okay.
Like it was incredible. Um,
Who's
you need
laughing
to have
now?
that.
I am all the
Yeah.
way to the bank.
And I use nothing, no energy. But yeah, it's good stuff there. The
Mm.
EV, man, look, when you can charge my car in 30 minutes or less, and I could go 500 miles at a charge, that for me is when it makes sense to go EV because now it's beating gas, right?
Mm.
But for me, having to sit at a charging station for 1 to 2 hours, it just doesn't do it. Now, yes, I can charge at home, but I have this thing where I've seen houses catch on fire. It's like, what happened? Oh, their charger caught on fire and it burned everybody. Like no, I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's just things I gotta. The garage. My daughter sleeps above that. And I just no.
Oh yeah. No, 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 no. That's yeah. Nope, nope, nope.
Yeah,
Don't want to.
just
Uh-uh.
for me mentally, it's just not worth it. So
No, that's fair.
I will get it. I will once I finish putting it in. But again, the actual home renovation is taking precedence. But once I do get it put in, I'll charge it during the day, but I will not charge it overnight.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, and I might even put like a timer on it that
A
it won't
timer,
run.
yeah. That would timer or just have some sort of alarms constantly set for it to be like, okay, yeah, it's been whatever.
Yep.
It's coming undone.
Yoink it.
Right.
So, anyways, well, hey, this was a
Yeah.
good opener. 24
Yeah.
minutes. See what with Grandma's sleep, we're doing so much better. So much better on time.
So I don't know. We're just gonna.
Graham,
He'd
you doing
probably
all
be
right?
yelling at us about that. Yeah, right, right.
Oh, well, at least we don't have to be like, all right, guys, I'm going to start the podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I get it. It is a little bit of a quirk, but like we
He's
all
a
have
quirky guy.
them.
He's a quirky guy, man. Just come on. But yeah,
That's
so
why we love
since
him.
yeah, right, it is. There's many reasons why I love him. Ain't that right, buddy? Yeah. Uh, anyway, so we're gonna break away from our typical jargon this week, and probably be a little shorter, a little sweeter, and we're just gonna talk a little bit more in depth about some personal projects we got going on, and how we're doing that, what our kind of workflow is there,
Mm.
and anything else you might have going on in your life that's not really a recap of last week.
Mm.
So, Taylor, if you want to kick us off.
Okay, I'll kick off with something light. So you've been aware of this, but and kind of mentioned it through updates throughout the week and stuff. But this year so far has been deciding to throw haymakers with just okay, we're gonna get sick, my computer go kaput, oh, we're gonna get really really sick, oh, car needs it needs a $900 repair and stuff. So it came out swinging, and so I've not been as active on the YouTube front for my channel. So I've been trying to get back into that. And that's for me has always been a really just a side thing that I kind of
Mm-hmm.
do. It's just something I've done it for years. Like so I was telling you before recording, Drew, that yesterday Graham joined me and a couple of buddies, people who had known me for through YouTube and doing YouTube videos, and I've known him for years now. On Monday nights, we get together, we chit chat, sometimes play something, and we played a game last night, and Graham joined in. And I jokingly told him because one of them, his name's Slade, and he watches. Hi, Slade. When he gets the chance, or at least he listens. But he I think it was him. Either it was him or it was Brian. One or the other. They coined the phrase as me being a like an ancient niche YouTube celebrity. And so like I use it all the time, and I was like, Graham, these are the two individuals in particular. I don't remember which one, but one of the two. They're the one that kind of coined it because that is what I was 16 years ago. And
Wow.
so- yeah. But so anyway, like I'd kind of done it as like a vlog for a while, and then would put up like little reviews of stuff, and it's there's a comment on one video in particular that somebody put, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty on point for me. They're like, I came for the Dias Pitar video, which was talking about the etymology of Dias Pitar, which kind of splinters off and goes when you track it from kind of the like the Proto-Indo-European-ish. It's not the right term for it, but like up in kind of the steppes and just slightly west of the Himalayas and stuff. These people eventually would, at least the language would spread. It's where eventually we would get things like Zeus and Jupiter. It's
Mm-hmm.
but down in India, um, it's splintered into this like Diaspitar, or I'm probably butchering how to pronounce it. But anyways, the guy had seen that video and he just kind of watched some other stuff that I did. He's like, I came for the Diaspitar, stayed for the Commodore 64 beats because I would make little bleeps and bloop songs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that pretty much is what I do. But um, it's like I want to get back into just making some videos and stuff, and I've got a few different ideas. I wanted to get you on for one at some point. Need to kind of hammer out a topic, but because I do
Yeah.
little podcast thinking stuff, no, sort of, not always, but
Better not be a damn book, man.
no. Actually, I had an idea what I wanted to talk to you about, but I'll save it for afterwards. Anyways,
All right.
but it's a lot of it when it comes to the YouTube stuff. It's a little bit more spur of the moment. It's kind of my personal little. I want to do this right now, and then I'll do a couple, and then I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going away. Catch you in like 6 to 4 months, 4 to 6 months. So that's kind
Consistency
of
is everything, right?
oh yeah, and I am consistently not there. So, but
Nice.
for at least well, but that for me that is it's just a thing that I do just because it's kind of fun to do, and it's not like I'm trying to be like, oh, I need to do this so that I can be, you know, if people can see me as some sort of internet celebrity, even
Sure.
though that's not fair to other people who, it's just like, yeah, just kind of do it. If people want to enjoy some of the stuff I do, okay. If not, I totally get it. Like I'm a very dry person, so I get
Yep.
it.
I mean, I wanted to do a YouTube golf channel. This was
Mm,
like kind of at the beginning of like good golf. Who it's just hard to
okay.
watch because they're just annoying kids, um, which is why Mike and Grant left. But besides that, um, I even got a few people to like send me some balls to like test out and stuff. And
Hmm.
what I realized is I really don't like being the guy on camera that much. I like
Oh, okay.
doing the camera work. So
Yeah.
I don't mind like the headshots and stuff, a little talking head because, it's personality, but like going up and swinging the golf club in front of a camera, I was like, nah, not really for me. Now I do use it to like gauge how my golf swing is because, man, I used to have a pretty swing. And now
Mm.
I have a very laid off backswing and I'm trying to get it corrected and I'm halfway there. It's
What do you
it's
mean by
it's a
that?
beast. Um, so when you take the club back, it should always kind of like be like at this angle, and
Okay.
mine literally lays flat, and then I have to round it back up into. But now I get her back in the slot, but it wreaks havoc on your spine, and
Oh,
it just
too
makes you a
much
much
torque.
more. Yeah, well, it just makes you a very inconsistent golfer.
Mm.
I'm sure some of that's because like my weight increased there, and I didn't play a lot, and I have broad shoulders. That's always been a thing. So when I swing, I completely lose sight of the golf ball, and I think that was also like a tug over to like try to peer over my shoulder to see that ball, and it just turned ugly.
Okay.
So
Huh.
it's a lot of it for me. I swear, if I just blindfolded myself, I'd probably get rid of it completely. It's because it's all for me. I think it's a visual thing, but like it's
Hmm.
it's it's almost gone. Like there's moments it comes back really when I'm getting tired. It kind of comes back, but like in my early parts of the round, it's pretty much gone now, and
Okay.
I'm finding like I'm hitting the ball 10, 15 yards longer just because I don't have to contort my body like an idiot. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
YouTube. But yeah, don't want to do it. Sorry to the people that sent me golf balls. I promise you, I bought more since I lost all of them into the water in the woods. I have bought more, so it has not been in vain completely because they're not bad. The Uther golf balls, Uther. Shout out
Hmm.
to whoever the hell sent them to me. I actually really enjoyed them. I still have a sleeve of them that I keep in tribute to people that took a shot on me and never produced a single damn video. Um,
Hmm.
Here's the quick review. They feel great off the tee. They feel great with an iron. They spin for shit with a wedge. Other than that, it's a great golf ball.
Why does it need to spin?
Stopping power.
Okay.
So, like on like a little chip or a pitch, so something where you're around the green.
Yeah.
There's certain methods you could do to promote extra spin on the ball. I just can't get it to do it with those particular balls. They needed a little bit more club head speed to generate spin. Whereas, like, if you want to go with a cheap ball that spins like a beast, is a Kirkland Costco golf ball. They spin
Hmm.
beautifully, but where I have a problem with the Kirkland balls is like I've played Pro V1s. I never pay for them because they're overly priced, but like I find them all the time because all the people with too much money buy them and lose them in the woods in the water, and I retrieve them. Um, you could hit those balls for 2 rounds and they look great. The Kirkland 3 holes, I feel like I need to replace it because
uh,
you beat up the shell of the golf ball and it gets like little dents and parts of the thing
it
kind of
takes
coming
out
off
the
because
aerodynamics of it. Hmm.
especially with the wedge, man, because you can spin those things. Oh, they're beautiful to spin.
Now, to me, the only thing I can think of when you say that is just putting English
Yeah, that's
on the ball
exactly
and
it.
pull. Okay, all right. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was about the only thing I could kind of my brain was
Sure.
processes now. So
Oh man, and it's fun to do. So I don't play a lot of courses where the green set up to optimize spin. Like you see these pros on TV and you're like, God, I wish I could do that. So then you go play a professional course, and I'm using 15-year-old wedges that I ordered off of Mercari, and I'm zipping that. Hey, would you get me another drink? If there's one more, get me that.
Okay.
Thanks. So I'm at Memorial Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio.
Mm.
Jack Nicklaus's Pride and Joy golf course, and dude, I'm hitting these range golf balls that are nicer than the balls in my bag, and I'm dropping them on these pins and then zipping 20 feet off the green. I'm like, oh, I don't even have to play the course. I could just do this all damn day. This is so much fun. Like, just, yeah.
No, it's like scratchy.
So I enjoy it.
All right, all right.
It's a good time. I don't know where my bottle opener went, so we'll figure it out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I got it. Thanks, child. You're a good kid.
It's the strawberry one as well.
Julie, everybody. Jewel Princess 713 on YouTube. She's got a few oh god, here comes the plug.
Oh boy.
She got a few Cobra Kai videos edited on there that
No,
she's
one.
I thought there was two.
No, the other one's a photography journey. And
Oh. Okay, well go away. Thanks,
my guys,
thanks for the
subscribe,
drink.
please.
And there's 2 people that watch this, so good luck.
it would be the luck to actually then just kind of blow up compared to us. So there.
I would, dude. I'd take it. I'd shoot her stuff for her, no problem.
There you go, right there. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not saying anything about it. Would just be the luck of it all.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd be so proud.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Right. So, wait, you. I'd say, how long ago was that you had kind of had thought of doing
It's
about
like
that, and you're like, yeah, no.
probably 4 years, probably.
Okay.
It's just something I just I like. I love golf. It's great.
Mhm.
Hate watching on TV for the most part, but it's one of those things where I kind of realizing I didn't really want to be the guy on camera. I also, when I would go record myself, I wasn't really focused on playing golf and having a good time. There was an ulterior motive, and I didn't want to lose that for my golf's my distraction, right? Golf's that's
Yeah.
it's my happy place. I don't want to corrupt that.
Mm.
So yeah, I shot a
get
few
that.
videos. I had me chipping and putting with the Uther balls. I had a few tee shots and stuff, but as a one man band out there trying to do it, I was like, meh. Didn't
Yeah,
really
I'd imagine
enjoy
if you had maybe like Dan or like a couple people, it might be
Oh
a
my
little bit
God.
more
Yeah.
manageable. So, because
Yeah.
I think of what's the there's the one, is it Tennessee or something? The rifle guy that's always getting those different kind of rifles or something and shooting them. It's
Oh,
like
there's several
I'd
of them,
bet.
but yeah.
Well, yeah, but just that type, I guess, is that if you're doing it by yourself, it's unless you like really are just live and eat and breathe this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, this is fun, but it'd be really nice to actually have a group of people to be doing this with. So,
Yeah. I mean, I look at your solo golfing channels. I find them relatively boring. You have a guy talking to a camera or a guy talking to his cameraman who's not very interactive because he's trying to record. And then you have
yeah.
your buddy golf channels. My favorite being Bob Does Sports. Shout out to Bob Does Sports. Everybody should watch it. Him and Joey Cold Cuts Fat Prez, the Jet and Ticket, and now J Bone, the new guy on the crew. It's like going out with your buddies and having a great time. And so that just reminded me of. So when I was in Ohio, speaking of Dan Graham and myself went and played Deer Ridge. We played Deer Ridge.
The one that's up in Mansfield? Is that the?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I have so many fond memories of that absolute monster of a golf course. So we went and played it, and I brought my my POS camcorder, and I recorded most of the round, and I ended up with like a 15-20 minute video that I sent to those guys. Oh, damn it. I got to go get me a plastic bowl. Plastic.
Yeah.
Like a big one on the lower shelf. We got a
Spider.
big ass leaf bug or grasshopper. No, if it was a spider, I'd kill it. But I am friend to leaf bugs and grasshoppers.
But just the reaction she had was just like, ah!
Yeah, well, it wasn't total fear because again, she's not a total pansy either.
Get it!
Honey, it's fine. I'm gonna get the bug. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I guess
Oh, shoot.
taking care of the business of getting the bugs there. You could say that Drew's doing his part.
It is in the bowl.
Oh boy.
All right, crisis averted.
I was thinking that you know, what's that, Starship Trooper? I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
Great movie. Great movie. by the way.
Right.
But yeah, like shooting with those guys and being able to hand the camera off and just laugh, banter, totally different experience than just trying to record yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
and I would say this for golf, you don't want a mirrorless camera. You need a camcorder. And when you hit the ball, someone's got to kind of zoom in. You just don't want static shots the whole time. It's boring as hell. It's just boring. Oh, sorry, that carbonated water.
All that excitement.
Yeah. Damn bugs.
Haven't lived that dangerously for
Oh man,
30 years.
There's nothing like taking a crap and there's a camouflage gecko starts running at your toes. Scares the crap right out of you, some would say.
Right. Just
yeah. Ooh. But yeah, so that's kind of, you know, that's my thing with the golf videos. But yeah, I really find I like being behind the camera, which kind of leads into my slightly larger topic.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, you can't see, but I have drawn up. You won't see it very well, but I've drawn up an entire storyboard.
Look at
for
that.
a short film I'm doing, right? You know, I'm not a human drawer, but objects I have a good time. But anyways, I got like close to 30 scenes.
Okay.
So, you know, I've told you guys I'm working on a personal project, you know, it's pretty religious in its nature, and I'm very embarrassed to even start to record that one. So I figured, you know what, let's start with something I know really well. It is going to be focused around work and like stupid stuff a technician could do, something most of us in the tech field have done, just something stupid, and you know, having a panic moment, calling for help. So I figured I've been trying to work. I have like 5 people at work, all excited to do it with me.
Okay.
I have given myself the smallest part in it because I do want to be in it, but I am like the boss that like never leaves the golf cart. And what I mean by that is we are bringing it back to the golf course. So the premise is there's a guy all full of ego and of himself, and he's kind of at the office boasting, you know, I just completed a job and, you know, jolly good. And I'm doing this new very important thing. And, you know, guy sitting there drinking his coffee, you know, Jesus, like, when is my break over?
Right.
And the gist is an alarm goes off, and like the guy's like, oh my gosh, you know, he's got a whole butt. So he goes into the little control room, and there's red lights and alarms blaring all over the place. Now, easy to do because our software generates the loudest, most annoying alarms imaginable. So I know where I'm going to get the sounds from. And any technician that's worked with the Zego CC will know the sound of that annoying alarm that does its job because it tells you there's an alarm.
All right.
And he just, in a panic, just forgets all of his wits, and he calls the guy. And that's when we cut to the golf course where I, the boss, am taking another valued employee out to celebrate a job well done, you know, happy customer, profitable project. And in the middle of his swing, the guy calls him. He loses the club, it flies in the water. Um, I laugh at him hysterically, as I would, because that's just who I am. Um, love you, child. Love you. Thank you. Um, so he then like rushes back to the office, like, you know, parks really hard, gets inside, and he's like, "All right, let's look at this." Blah 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 blah. And in like 10 seconds, he's like, "Weren't you commissioning some air handlers today?" Yeah, yeah. What was the last test you did? Well, we closed the chilled water valves to you know, make sure the temperature rose. Did you release them? And then he has that moment, and I'm like, I hate this place. I'm going home. And then he releases it, and like all the lights start turning back green, and you know the red hue that's on his face turns green. He's like, all right, man, I got it from here. Thanks. And then you know, but when the guy leaves the golf course, he tells his boss, "Hey, wait for me on the back nine. I'll be back." So to finish it off, it cuts to the golf course at night. The bosses are sitting there like, he's not coming back, is he? And
He's
then
not
boom,
coming back.
credits. So it's a
There
stupid
you go.
idea, but it's just supposed to be slightly work related,
Mhm.
humorous, and bring in some stuff I like doing, which is golf. And
I
so,
think it's a good step to do that because I think a lot of creative endeavors, I think you've probably seen it a lot with being younger, whether it's with writing or drawing or painting or any of that sort of stuff, is that you get a lot of people who get really apprehensive about the work. See it a lot with writing where they'll start something and then they'll stop and then they'll be like, oh, well, I've got a new idea, and they start doing that instead of just it's like just finish the one first and then go through that. And eh, it might not be great, but in the same hand, it's not. Stop trying to treat it as if it's meant to be great.
yeah,
It's something that you're creating. It is. I I I it's really disheartening when people do get. They just kind of they're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm just too dumb for it. It's like, no, you're not too dumb to create something. Whether that just be a simple, well, just like a joke or something like that, or spontaneously coming up with something. It's a form of creation. Don't sell yourself short on it. But I feel like too
yeah,
many people get a little too apprehensive, and it's like, no, if people don't like it, okay, whatever. Like, um, the first book that I wrote, I was going through that, and I'm like, oh, this is a mess. There's like a whole bunch of stuff because it's just me writing it and me editing it and me self-publishing it. Um, if things are wrong, it's on me. It's just like, but I'm not. Well, but I'm not sitting there going, oh well, what like I'm not sitting there thinking, well, this when I get this finished, this will, people could turn this into a movie. It's going to be super popular. That first book, and I warned you about it, and I warned anybody and I warned people when I first got it done. It's an ugly book, and I don't even just mean, kind of choppy here and there, but it is just a very like the language is terse. It's just very like the somebody. How did they put it? Somebody said it came across as very raw and just how it
mm,
was like presented is just a very raw book and described it as like a psychologically dark Game of Thrones vibe for that first book. And then I think I think with my mom and a few other people said that it just very reminiscent of like biblical tone. Just
okay,
like the tone of the book is kind of biblical, which is like at some points I can kind of see it, but at other points I really don't. But like I have like 9 pages of quotes and stuff from that first book. I was like, oh, I really like that. Like that was a really good line. I don't know how I came up with that, but I was just there's sometimes I can see where I was like, oh, I know exactly where that came from, kind of thing. Like oh what was one of them? Uh, there's like some guards dealing with like a border conflict, and instead, they're one of the guards is like, "We're men of law, not a diplomacy." So that kind
Good
of
line.
vibe. That's
It's a good
that's
line.
that's yeah. That's like that's. But I know exactly where that came from. That came from a Roman, Pompey the Great, I think it was, during like Caesar ish times, where he was like, "We are oh, what is it? Do not quote law to men with swords." And this is like, yeah,
It's
it's
fair.
that kind of similar vibe.
It's
So,
fair.
but it's more of like just kind of, yeah, just get it done. And like, I
Yeah.
know I am
It,
still working,
still
but
type of, but
I don't
yeah, I
know.
think for me, it's more of like it's an anxiety more than like I'm
Hmm.
sure my first couple of like narratives won't be very good. Just like I've kicked out like 5 training videos for work now. The
Hmm.
first one, while not awful in its context, like I was like, I could have done this different. I could have done this different.
Yeah.
And the subsequent ones have been getting better. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm really comfortable with training videos now. So,
Hmm.
and I know I like to think I'm a funnier guy. So for the other one to be much more serious in tone, in fact, like no jokes in it at all, I'm like, okay. And I also think personally, it's a really good idea for my head, and I want it to be good. So I don't really want that to be like my first narrative piece, because I think I
Mm.
want to do the thoughts justice. It's all written down, the script's done, but I'm like, like, meh. So I want to get a couple like under my belt and feel really good
Hmm.
about my cinematography. I don't know all the right terms. I'm no professional. I'm YouTube University certified. Um, but I want it to look nice. I want it to have a good vibe.
Hmm.
I want motion to the camera. I want to know where to put it instead of having everything locked off on a tripod because people like motion. I've asked my one buddy if he still has his camera slider so I can add, very smooth motion to the shot. So if he
Okay.
doesn't, then might be something I save some Siemens start points up for because they're not too expensive. For the cheap ones, I don't need. I'm not working on Hollywood here. I don't need all the nice stuff. I just need something to get me by.
Well, yeah. I think that's also a good thing to consider, especially with the advent of YouTube and everything, that there's like, oh, well, somebody starting off small in the YouTube lands blew up and was super duper big, or doing Twitch streaming and that sort of thing. And it's like, sure, okay, but like, why are you playing the compare game? Like, that's just
Yep.
gonna drive you up the wall.
I
Um,
do want stuff to look nice. It's funny.
mm,
I did a few Twitch streams. I did them with the Sundowners for some Dads of Destiny uh, clan, whatever the hell it was called that Graham and I were in, and we did
okay,
charity streams, and those were a lot of fun again because I'm with a group, and I
yeah,
like being in a group of people I like. I did like a handful of solos that I just don't enjoy doing,
it's
but
just
like
not your vibe.
the one that cracked me up the most is like I was testing out my setup. Right, it was on a
Yeah,
PS4 with a HD
Elgato.
How page. It was a How page, like a How page one. Like at the time, it was kind of before Elgato, so I had this
Mhm.
How page thing that went to a monitor, and I'm like, all right, I'll do Everybody Golf. Um, what used to be some other name, but I just know it Everybody Golfs now. Like I forget what it was called before, but it's this dorky cartoon golf game that I absolutely love because it's snappy, right?
Yeah.
You can get through 18 holes in a hurry, and I like how it plays. Dude, I had
Okay.
like 7 to 9 people watching me for like 30 minutes. I'm like, where did you people like? No one watches this game. Like, and they're
Yeah.
texting me stuff, and
Sometimes.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really know what to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's kind of interesting because I tried to do stream. I did streaming back when it was Justin TV for a little bit. Um, I
Oh
was. This is
boy,
what
God,
this.
that's digging
Yeah.
back.
That's dropping some ancient lore there. But I was one of the few people that streamed how the last story and Xenoblade.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly last story before there's the Operation Rainfall or something to try to get those games out of Japan and stuff. But I had streamed them on a potato of a phone, or not phone, but a computer. It was
Yeah.
but people were just like, oh my god, yada yada yada, and getting all excited for it and stuff. And like I it is really hard for me as just a singular to really, like, I can't be funny by myself. I'm much funnier bouncing off of somebody else, or at least I can be. But a lot of times it can be kind of like really pointed funny to where it's like I'm just goofing, but it's kind of like, damn, Taylor, did you have to dig that deep on that? And I try to hold back on that, well, because it's just like, because it's, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, oh, yep, 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 but then it's like, no, no, no. Let's just rein it back, rein it back, rein it back, rein it back. I just don't need to be that much of a jackass. Uh, but I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't need to be that much of a jackass. So, but like, so in streaming by myself, it's a little harder to, like, oh, I'm playing something and I have some funny thing to say. I don't have anything funny to say. It's just like, oh, this stupid game, this stupid, obnoxious game being played by this stupid man in his stupid hands and this stupid, everything's stupid.
I love some of the guys that take themselves too damn seriously. They
It's
think they're
just,
out there saving the world, one zombie at a time. It's like, oh
oh,
god.
right, right.
I've tried to watch some Twitch guys. I don't know how the hell people do it. For hours on end, they just watch these people. Go play the
Hmm.
game yourself.
Well, I can understand it. There is one streamer that I uh either will listen to when I out and drive or something, or just have on as background kind of sounds and stuff. It's a tomato gaming, or at least, or he just goes by Tomato, I think, on Twitch. Younger guy. Well, he's about to hit 30, I think, this year. So, the jokes abound about him being an old man. But for me, I think I always found it really interesting. Here's somebody who I think during like COVID was within like the top 50 of streamers. So,
Wow.
but yeah, really, really popular. But it's just really, it was really interesting to hear some of his thoughts on just being in that position and having a very definitive sense of self. That wasn't kind of, at least it doesn't come across as being a complete dickhead.
Mm.
But just being like, no, this is how I'm going to be things. And, he's a human being, so obviously there's going to be things that A, I don't agree with, or B, he totally can be off on or whatever. But I always appreciated that, and honestly, he can be really, really funny. So at least to me, so I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, yeah, okay, I can tolerate that. But he'll play some just absolute garbage, like indie garbage that's just hilariously bad, and you're like, oh boy, like, whoo, whew. Oh, there was one called, like, I can't remember. It was something like Roswell or something that was just
Uh-huh.
a complete garbage mess, and it was it was pretty funny. But
Nice.
he's like one of the few streamers that I really watch anything of anymore.
Yeah.
So, but that's, like I said, it's like I'm not gonna drop money or play through the whole thing myself. So I just kind of listen to somebody play it and I get chuckles
Now,
out of it.
I will say that's when I've actually watched some Twitch streams. Because
Hmm.
I care less about a game. Like, I do care about a game review, right? I'm not going to buy a game that's a 4 out of 10 in everybody's minds because it's going to be a
Hmm.
shitty game and games are expensive. But decent review, I will jump on Twitch to see someone play the game to see, will this be a game that I enjoy?
Hmm.
Like, I wanted Diablo 4, but I'm like, man, let me see. And a lot of people were kind of bagging on. I was like, all right, maybe I'll pass this one. But then everybody's like, oh man, Baldur's Gate, 10 out of 10, amazing game. Ooh, let me watch this on Twitch. And I'm like, not for me. It's
Yeah.
just too long winded. And I'm like, yep, okay, glad I watched because I almost pulled the trigger.
All right. Yeah, that's a good barometer to kind of be like, oh, all right, let me see it here, because it's, especially with how reviews for stuff is, like, I feel like of course it depends on the person too. It's like, oh, I know this person likes XYZ kind of games. It's like, oh, okay, well, sure. There's been these videos I've been watching of a guy who's doing these retrospectives, very intensive and very lengthy videos of the Ultima series.
Okay.
And he's pointed out a reviewer from the time, I think her name, or at least her handle, was Scorpia or something, who just like loved some of the games and just was really really like, if it was an RPG of some sort, she was going to give you, she was going to give you her thoughts, and she wasn't pulling punches, which I can appreciate. It's like, okay, all right, yeah, 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 go for it. And um but a lot of times it feels like with reviews, it always feels like it's, oh well, it's an 8 out of 10. It's a really great game, and you're like, the fuck I have two working eyeballs, and
So
like I could see it right there. No.
it sounds to me like she worked at Nintendo. She ran the Nintendo Power magazine, and anything Nintendo was a 10 out of 10.
Well, no, yeah, I don't remember what Scorpia what she did, but like she was really good. Nintendo Power is great. I always love those. It's like how convenient that these Nintendo games are always such
Always
like classics.
superb,
Superb.
superb games. Bastards lied to all of us.
Did have
Mind you,
that really.
Mario's usually very good.
Yes, yes, yeah. I did appreciate those comics they had of Mario and Zelda. I didn't really read the Star Fox one so much, but the Mario and I actually bought the books of those. Got the you can buy those, but I always really like the artwork because one of them, I think I can't remember, but one of them did the, was it Cyborg 09 009 or something, like one of the really like famous robot manga
okay.
artists and stuff. But I'm I'm not very smart in general, but especially with this sort of information. I think it maybe like Astro Boy. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but it's
Classy.
it's what the, yeah, what's but the guy who drew the Zelda,
Okay.
it's something like that. But the Zelda one's like that. I couldn't, like I said, totally could be wrong about that. But I always appreciated it. I was like, oh, that's really cool, and it's A Link to the Past, which, you know, classic.
I will play that game. I will play and I will beat that damn game. Love you.
uh, but yeah, and then I guess my big one is still working on part two book. So uh, that one's just
So, how
knuckle
far
knuckle
in?
down and do it.
How far in are
Um,
you?
mm, page 171.
Oh, nice. Out of what are we going to? 400 or 500?
This one's gonna be a lot longer than part one.
Ooh.
So, um, it's I truthfully at 171 handwritten probably be about 110, 120 at
Okay.
most typed up and stuff. But it also depends on how the dialogue and whatever I edit and clean up and add on or whatnot flesh out. Um, right now I want to say I'm about an eighth of the way through part two, maybe.
Wow. Maybe
Oh
you should
yeah.
do 4. Maybe you should do 4 books.
Well, well. So here's the thing: the subtitles are gonna spell out a sentence. Um,
Ooh.
so yeah, the first one, part one, is A Lover's Pilgrimage, and I'll type out part two and three to you real quick, um, because I do not need them to be part three in particular. Oh. So yeah, so A Lover's
I'll look
Pilgrimage.
later. I don't want it to pop up on the record. I shouldn't, but I don't want it to.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll type it and then send it after. Um,
Yeah.
I might change. Um, I might change the part twos, but I think I'll keep that. And then let's see. I'll just put a little divider.
Ooh. So
Uh,
I've had some couple questions actually. So first off,
okay.
a simple one, like on this book, what has you most excited on this book so far?
So far, in what like that I've already
Context
written
to
or that I
story. Yeah. So whether it's something you've already written or something you're gonna write, like what has you the most excited about this particular
ooh
book?
um so part one is much more of a slow burn because for me part one and part two are making like the full story, original story, and then part three is almost like an addendum, but it's its own story that I came up with during part one. So part three, uh, off to the side. Part two, I part of it's seeing the maturation of more so Jaharl. Tamelia kind of has it, but those are the two protagonists. Um, is seeing that because something about it, I don't have much qualms with like reveal, is that Jaharl's kind of personal arc. He's going originally from being very fatalistic, um, and then just kind of okay, well, what it is to be, whatever kind of fate is. Eventually, gets out of that rut and becomes, um, I would say more religious, and that is a mirroring of myself that I'm kind of putting into that character. And I am liking that kind of starting to get into that and to push
Okay.
that because I also like the idea of somebody breaking that because not only just for my own sake of kind of beating myself up or thinking oh well you know whatever I guess it's just fated to be uh it's one thing to be like oh well this is just kind of how it is going to be because of all the chips have kind of fallen at that point but it's another thing entirely to be like no we're still going to try to get through that's the dog that's the fight coming back
Yes, there it is. The dog.
right
Got that
that's the
dog in
dog
you.
yeah and so I and so for me it's that but then there are things that are going to happen in part two that are just like they're going to be their own kind of like gut punches on stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing how hopefully how I do it because there's just a couple things like I've noticed that a lot of times with different story ideas that I have because a lot of it I'll actually I'm one of those that likes to have the plot points. I kind of call them guideposts or like lampposts.
Sure.
It'll help light the way. I'm not if I do it directly like that, I'll run into the post, and that's just not fun. But it'll help kind of light me to get me to where I'm going. And a lot of these different story ideas that I have, I realize that the climactic thrust of it, a lot of the stories are kind of like a mix of emotional tearing that it's like, well, can't always get what you want. And
That's certainly the damn truth.
right. And I think that to me that's a um trying to conquer that sort of disappointment, the failure, and then still pushing through some way to make it, not to like cope and lie to yourself that it's a success, but
Mm-hmm.
to the success being getting through it is what I like and what I'm for this one in particular because the first book is a lot different. First book is not like that at all. First book is um the first book is a failure of a character for the protagonist. Well,
I
really,
hear
it was the idea was what if you had a not necessarily a hero, just a protagonist, the main character of the story, accomplish whatever it is that they wanted to do years before the point of the story, and the kind of malaise that this kind of just funk that they're in, this spiteful funk, and just
you.
exploring that and how just gross that was. And it was just like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun. I like this.
Which leads me to my next question. So,
Oh,
there's a few creators I watch on YouTube that really like I'm trying to learn lighting, sound, like
Mhm.
shot selection, even, and every
Okay.
the bulk of the ones that I would say are actually accomplished in life. Not your, hey man, look at me, I got a new tube light sent to me by the douche tubers, let's say,
Douche
um,
tuber.
the douche tubers, who, hey, anybody, when I actually start posting real stuff on there, if anybody wants to send me stuff, I will douche tube for you. Okay, absolutely.
That doesn't sound very appropriate.
Send me free stuff. Um,
Drew will privately douche tube for you.
I will be fair and honest in my reviews. Blah blah blah. Send me free stuff, and I'll say all the nice things about it. I promise. Um, but the ones that you can actually tell are actually accomplished in life, and
Hmm.
actually have a real career in the craft. They say just start posting. Your first videos
Mhm.
are gonna suck. Just get over it. Just put them out there, see people's reactions, take constructive criticism, learn from it, make something better. So you
Hmm.
constantly criticize your first book in little ways, but like what did you take out of that experience to, you know, advance your writing savvy, let's
Ooh.
say?
Hmm. Um. What did I take from that? What I the one well, one thing I know for certain was that the initial idea for that story, the climactic end for it, came out exactly how I initially thought of it for it. I was like, okay, this is what I want to happen, and I got it to there, and I was like, okay, this pretty much, not like carbon cut copy, like it
Sure.
how it unfolded and everything, it was what I wanted. Contextually, entirely different than what I initially planned. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting because a lot of stuff, at least when I was younger, and you might have heard this as well, um, and I don't. For a while, I disparaged the advice because I thought it was, uh, um, or at least I when I didn't disparage it, but I took it to heart for a while, and then I disparaged it, and then I just left it alone. Where they were like, there's advice for writing where they're like, you shouldn't know what's going to go on in your story. You should just let it be, and then it'll just come to you, almost not necessarily like free flow of conscience, but it just kind of, if you aren't surprised, how the as the reader supposed to be surprised? And I for a while I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and then I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's not quite how that works. And then, or at least it doesn't work for me. Like I can't operate that way. I have to have um the lampposts. And that's something I realized was that I needed those posts. Those lampposts really helped me move things along, and they actually kind of get me excited for certain things to where it's less even about getting to that specific point, but just to write and just be like, oh, okay,
Sure.
I just want to get into it. I know that was definitely something I learned from that first one. Um, and I would say, uh, being, even though I know you haven't read the part one for like Sager's Calling, but Sudraba, the first book, there's there's not a lot of mirth. There's not a lot of fun. There's little drops of it here and there. Like the one character that I do really like, that she's kind of got some pep, and I like her a lot. But a lot of it's pretty just down. Um, book two, the first 75 pages, the first six chapters, the first chunk of the book is like really comfy. It's some of the comfiest stuff. I'm like, this is such a, because initially it was meant to be like a JRPG style game. And I just converted it into, I had like 250 pages of notes of different stuff. I'm like, I am not about to let this go to waste. I will force this into a book if I have to. And I it was just, it was nice. It was nice and comfy to be like, oh, and it's not like, spoilers for the first six chapters of the book, but it's not like, oh, the village gets burned to the ground and there's dire. No, there's really not. It's just they've got something that they come to. Okay, we need to we got to do something. about something that's going on. Uh, But it's not, it's not like, oh, the main character's parents are dead or anything like that. No, they're very loving. Everybody, it is just a very nice little place, a little cozy hamlet up in the mountain woods and stuff. And it's just like I can because I remember, I don't know if you ever had him because I think he was there right before you graduated, but Mr. Morgan, he was like the 10th grade English teacher for a moment and stuff, and
Now,
he did a creative writing class my junior and senior year, or senior year or something. And I remember writing stuff for there, very violent stuff, and he was like, how about we not do the violent thing, and I felt really happy that I finally did the non-violent thing for that,
good for
even
you.
though it was, yeah, it's just like, things don't have to be violent. They can just be this nice, comfy, cozy thing. And it's just like,
Yeah.
yes.
Hey,
Well,
I've seen The Notebook. All right, I can get down. I'm for a good cry every once in a while. You
it's
know.
it's not a cry, and it's really not. It's just like, eh, it's and I've not honestly fully read it, and I should go back to read it. But I've heard people, when they've like done reviews for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, how the Shire is this nice, comfy, cozy place.
Yes,
And the
I get it.
further away you get from it, there are less songs, there's less enjoyment
Oh.
and stuff. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I kind of feel like I've got that sort of vibe. I feel like the further away they get from their village and stuff, they've gotten less. They're not nearly as comfy, and things are just not as they're not nearly as enjoyable. Not, um, but I mean that's kind of part of an adventure story, right? You go
Absolutely.
away from home to go slay the dragon. So,
I love it. It's
but
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. So,
Well, did you have anything else for me, or we could wrap this up on a high
you
note?
I was to say, well, you had the doing the prep work, so to say, of like, okay, we're gonna work out these muscles.
Oh,
You were doing
sure.
the other videos and stuff. What are you seeing that you're like, oh, I really need to work on this?
Well, so I think, honest to God, because the first few training videos, good question, by the way, didn't see that
Mm,
coming. The
mm,
first couple training videos was all me.
mm-hmm,
It was, I was the intro outro guy because I want to have that connection to, like, let people know, hey, what you're about to see, even though it's in the subtitle or the title of it. But
mm-hmm.
I want that intro outro experience, a little bumper music to get you hyped up. We're gonna learn stuff.
Yeah,
And then I
learning.
was I was the trainer throughout the video. And what's nice about me doing the training is 21 years I've been doing this crap. Like, it's in the head, right? I'm the guy that
Mm,
doesn't need instruction manuals. So I'm setting up a shot, trying to get different lighting, better scene, and one of my younger guys is in there, one younger employees, and he's like, "Man, what you doing?" I was like, "All this." I was like, "Hey, you got me?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You step in here so I could just check some lighting and some angles and stuff." He's like, "All right." So he's like, "Man, this is kind of neat." I had one light up ahead, I had a light behind, trying to fill out that outline. So here you can't see like
mm-hmm,
a lot of my outline. So you want to put a little light back there so you see my shoulders. They'll just blend into the background. Um,
mm-hmm.
so and I sent you some of those test shots, right? Like where I was trying to get to. So this man
Yeah.
is really neat, and he's like, "Do you have like a script?" I was like, "No, I just kind of wing it, Like I know the gist of how I want to do an intro. I want it to be short, snappy, very to the point, and then I jump into the training." And he's like, so he starts mouthing off some lines. I was like, "Do you just want to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he is a nervous Nelly, dude. He's doing something. He's like, all right, all right, all right, and then it just
Liar, liar, drinking the
right,
water.
and he just he messes up, and he's like, f, just you get back. I was like, dude, look, it's just an iPhone in front of you. Like, there's no big deal. Like, it's
Mm.
just a phone. This is going out to Siemens people. It's fine. Man, I just I want it to be good. I'm like, dude, really, you gotta chill. So I had to write him a script, like, just to
Oh,
get through
okay.
these little parts. And I'm like, all right, so here's a script, and he wanted to change some things, so we read it out loud, try to see what flowed good. Because again, I want it to be short, snappy, and not a whole lot of filler for intro, outro. It's just, hey, well, welcome to a training video. So he's like, he's like, hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna get back into another training session. Getting back. I was like, it's too many backs, baby. I was like,
Baby got back.
You don't even say back at all. Like, this isn't a TV show. Like, this isn't a documentary. Like, it's just, hey, welcome to training today. We're gonna get into this, and just let that just 20 minutes of like just outtakes, bloopers, like just F word after F word after F word. And so it's like, all right, we're gonna script it, and he gets through it pretty solid, right? I'm like, okay, this is good. So then I'm sitting here thinking, okay, yeah, yes, I know about writing scripts. So I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think of the script, and as I'm going through, I'm like, okay, I need like 5 or 6 people to play the parts that I want for this little work narrative I'm doing. I'm like, okay, how do they see my vision? And I'm like, I need to actually do a storyboard. And thank you to Standard Story Company on YouTube. He is all about storyboarding, prep, and shots, because he's like, I don't want to miss a shot. So I make sure as I'm going through, I'm crossing off every time I record a scene and thinking about like, okay, I'm going to have like 5 of this shot of, camera coming over the top of the monitors and catching like my nose up, like just red light cast in my face. If I'm going to do 5 shots of that, I don't want to move the camera and set it back up 5 different times, because it's never going to be back in the exact same damn spot, and it'll pull you kind of out of it when it's. So I'm like, all right, let me storyboard this. And then I'm like, okay, here's a storyboard. I'm doing this too many times. Let me get rid of that. And then visually, I'm like, it's like reading a comic book. I'm like, okay, I like how this flows now. So I've already kind of changed up some script idea. I've removed like 5 different scenes that are just fluff and I don't need them, or it's going to add a complicated shot that I don't want to have to do. And then it's like, okay, now I want a slider shot because I want to add a little bit of motion to it. Because in my head, I'm like coming across, because, it's going to be one guy centered up and then the other guy comes in over his shoulder. I want to like pull that camera to grab all the characters into it. And so storyboarding has been like really a neat way for me to, not only for me to visualize better the story, but now when I hand out the script and the storyboard, everybody else can see what I want to do on this particular shot. So now that I have that one done, I am going to start actually getting to the storyboard of the one I really have my heart into here.
Yeah.
And it will probably be a fall or a spring shoot next year, because most of this one's outside, and I ain't doing shit outside in Houston in the summer. Just not gonna happen, man. Like,
no.
Even my good cameras will melt. Like, you just don't want to be outside for that kind of stuff. But I would say I'm excited to do some little work narratives, and some of the guys are already coming up with other ideas. Like, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, I love it. We're gonna give it to Seaman. So the guy that's doing this training series, I'm gonna pass him to him and see if there's any interest in as sort of like a just a fun thing to do for the company. Get different people involved, see if other branches want to join in. Something unique to like just create a better, I don't know if atmosphere, but just different kind of work environment where people can, and I don't mean to be creative like to, be internet famous or anything, but just that people can express ideas that can help the company. Because one of the premises of all these of these work narratives, let's say, is to actually bring in an element of training, but to see it from a unique perspective, not of just, hey guys, today at Siemens we're going to discuss driving safety, and you should never have water while you're driving. You should have no screens, no nothing. Even though my new work car has like 3 massive screens in it, okay? You don't want me to stare at a screen. Maybe don't give me the ability to have screens, okay? But our trainings say we can't even have water while we're driving. We're not supposed to anyway. Kiss my ass.
Two hands
on the wheel the whole time. This is Houston. You're out on that road forever. You're stuck forever. But one thing, we have a series of training videos called the Cyber Police. I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be just dumber than hell. and it is a work-driven type narrative about this over-the-top cyber police department, right?
All
And
right.
they're busting cyber crime, right? It's like I'm watching, I'm like, oh my god, this is so damn stupid. And then I'm sitting here like, I'm watching it more, and I'm like, God, they actually put there's some money in this. Like,
Yeah.
there's good camera work, there's good lighting, there's good staging. Like, there's actually a story, but it's dumb. It's a dumb story, but it's
It's dumb thing, but there, you see that there's like there's heart in it,
yeah,
right? I think the kids say that it's got soul. I
yeah.
think that's what they.
And so now, like, I want to know when the next season's coming because now they're like 20-minute long episodes, right? Like, I'm over here with my popcorn, like, why are you bothering my training session, you bastard? Like, this is great. Like, everybody's like, it's so dumb. I was like, you guys are looking at it with the wrong lens. Like,
Mm,
yes, it's goofy. It's a cyber police. They don't exist,
right, right.
okay? But like, the idea is really think about what you're doing, who you're giving information to, what you're downloading. There's actually a strong message in there that I really actually, you know, it does make you think about like how people go fish. I don't mean fishing, casting a reel. I mean, pH fishing.
Right, right.
Like it's disgusting how people,
Mm,
literally creep into your life and, take data. Um,
yeah.
so
Uh,
I love the idea. Now it is one of my favorite things now because it's like someone actually put a lot of thought into this. They found a way to
mm,
not do that run of the mill, boring ass training. And
just keep it dry and
we had a series of videos for training starring Mr. Morphe. Okay, it
I'm
was a
gonna need
skinny.
morphine to.
Oh my god, it was a skinny dork ass guy in one of those like all neon green or orange bodysuits.
Oh,
You know,
lovely.
it was green, blue, orange, red. We had the red guy. Oh, he was the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I forget his name, but he had a name. But the good guy was Mr. Morphe. And it's like, do you assholes know you're talking to professionals? Like, we are all, whether you consider me a professional or not, this is what you're making me watch as an adult. A
Yeah.
guy running around in a leotard or whatever the hell that thing's called. And it's like, this is horrible. So Cyber Police, well, it's not Siemens content. It's a professional purchased content to watch. I think it's
Mm,
fantastic. I love the idea. And this is like my cut of it in a Siemens sense, like a lot more
mm,
Siemens driven. I want to have our graphics in the background. Like when he's on the computer, it's going to be all Siemens BAS graphics. I'm going to make them look good. It's going to be pretty
yeah.
lights. Oh man, we're going to have some fun with it. So
All right, there you go. I like how you're describing like the different shots and stuff because to me that's the I guess same mind frame work pattern that I have with
yeah,
like just writing. Just like I know you and Graham and quite a lot of other people will always try to chop me at the knees for some of the words that I use. And it ain't
yes.
because I talk above you. It's literally the word that pops into my head. But more importantly is that it's like if I'm reading something, I like to read it out loud, especially now. I guess that would be another thing to tack on is that I've gone along when I'm going through and editing something, I like to read it out loud to hear what it's sounding like. Because
Now,
that
do
way I
you
think it
record yourself and listen, or do you just talk out loud and listen to yourself that way?
I've done both. So, I've done both, but first was just kind of listening to myself and it's like, okay, that doesn't sound right. Let me read that again. That still doesn't sound right. Or in just reading through to be like, oh, well, like you were saying about the dude using back all the time. It'd be like, there's certain words here. We're going to have to tweak this a little bit. Plus, where everybody else's specialties lie in wherever they may, like me, I love words. Words are a very peculiar thing to get into. I find them very, very fascinating because that is certainly how we express and identify things. Not
Sure.
always, because we have bodily motion and stuff, but um, it is it is a way to color things that um, yeah, depending on how truthful you want to be about it, you can kind of be a very sneaky snake, and kind of be like, we're gonna play with this language a little bit, and um, I don't know. That's just
Sure.
something I like about that. Like, there's a chapter title for the first book for part one. I absolutely love the title for it, and it's a very generic title. It's nothing too fancy, but just
Love you, boy.
the like multi directional context of that title is just like, oh, it could be referencing this, it could be referencing that, it could be referencing like four other things, and none of you will know. I don't know. It's perverted. That's I don't have a better word for it. So,
Love you, kid. Love you, buddy.
but yeah, I think that's good. We certainly went a whole lot longer than I was expecting, but that'll.
Isn't that the way of things? Huh?
Yeah, right.
But no,
So,
I enjoyed this. Maybe we'll get Graham to be creative one day. Graham, how you feeling, buddy? Hanging in
yeah,
there?
how you holding up?
Don't wake up. But
That's so.
all right, man. Well, hey, everybody, that's going to be a wrap on episode 26 of the Life Around 40 podcast. Check us out. All our information is down below there somewhere. Perhaps Graham will even upload another audio. He's been better about it lately.
I think he's got them all staggered out for
Yeah, it's
at
good.
least until 24.
So I don't know if anybody noticed, if anybody watches the videos online. This week we're releasing it in 3 parts. The first part came out Monday. Part 2, which topic loop will be out tomorrow. Well, sorry, Wednesday, the 11th of March, and then the part 3 will be out Friday, the 13th. I'm horrible with
Mhm.
numbers. And we'll
Yeah.
see how that goes, because it just makes videos a little bit smaller, a little bit more digestible. I'll probably split this up into probably just maybe 2 parts, because I'm
Two
lazy
chunk.
sometimes. But two pump chump.
2 pump chump. Hey, that 2 pump chump lasted an hour and a half. See?
Yeah, baby. Oh, shit. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Toodles.